So you got the parts? Then hand me that ether cylinder. I'll fix it and be back in a jiffy. It's a little way off, so this will take a short while, but just wait here. I thought I was going to drown for a second back there, but I managed to fix the lamp. It's starting to get its glow back. I've never done anything like that before. It was interesting. I got some things to think over. You lot should head back too. You fixed it. Good work. It's gonna be lively around the bridge every night. I'm glad everything worked out. Yep, expected no less. Just wasn't me, everyone helped. People came to see it night after night as if they're possessed. But I suppose there are people who need something like that. The scars of battle are deep. Your decision was not incorrect. Hi everyone, I'm CyMaxD, call me Cy or Max, whichever you prefer, and in this episode of Xenoblade Definitive Edition, I finished that quest that I meant to do ages. More importantly, Shulk and Ryan have two new arts. First up on the agenda, Shaker Edge. This is basically Shulk's original talent art Turn Strike, but instead of inflicting break, it dazes. It has a rather long cooldown, but more importantly, it has a very long wind-up animation, so you will need to time this very carefully. In other words, listen to Ryan just as he's about to shout "Wild Down," and press the button then, and yeah. Naturally, I'm going to upgrade this. Two seconds of daze is not a bad boon. Now Ryan has yet another aura. Last Stand, an aura that revives the user once before they are incapacitated. As you can see, it has a really long cooldown compared to Ryan's other auras. But when you consider that, yeah, he automatically regains some health instead of being incapacitated when his runs out, and it fills up the party gauge a little. It's got some pretty snifty bonuses. Still not worth it over Berserker, that's honestly his best by a long mile. So I'll just get rid of that for now, and yep. With that, we're time to head down the elevator. I think she just had to pull a Mega Man just to get through this door. I wonder how many people actually understand that. First thing you'll notice out here in the central pit is that it's swarming with Mechon. No natural life, just the rubits of destruction. You know what? Let's see if I can... One Ryan. Yep, the moment you hear that, immediately daze. And one thing to note while I'm taking out some Mechon here, the reason why I've been insistent that you basically keep your inventory low through selling items and such is because in the original, inventory space was actually limited based on how many party members you had. I know this from experience because I had actually maxed out the inventory space based on my first playthrough just because I didn't sell anything. And if you can't sell anything, well, I mean, yeah. Sorry, my brain's multitasking. Yeah. Basically, when you run out of inventory space, you can't open the chest and such. Though if you try to open them, I believe the items will disappear. Unfortunately, the Definitive Edition seems to have gotten rid of that inventory limit, so... yeah. Still, it's better to just keep the amount of stuff you have down low so you don't just waste too much time organizing. And here we are to the main puzzle of the central pit. Can I make it? Make it, please! No, I'll show you guys actually. These blades can't hurt you, but they will push you back. I think I'm going to throw Shaker Edge over here next to my 2 break arts, just so I don't have to double tap all across the palette just to get what I need. Okay, fun fact about the auto attacking. Make sure your allies are actually facing forward by moving around. If they look away, they won't be able to activate for some reason. In this case, down here you'll usually find a whole bunch of collectibles and such on these little parts away from everything else. And I honestly recommend it. It's worth your time and we won't be going here all that often. Another thing worth doing is saving often. There aren't really any skip travel points here in the pit, so dying can be particularly harsh. That's the 2 ready coils. It might come in handy for rebuilding Colony 6. Don't know about all this stuff? This is more Shulk's thing. So yeah, all those collectibles visuals we've been getting lately, well, now we have an idea of what they're for. After clearing out that pile of mecha on here, we found ourselves to the personal lift too. What great timing for me. Mentioning it a little too late. Making our way down to the pit, and we've gone from M64 pluses to an M67. You know they're different not just because they have because of the change in their number name, but also their alloy color. Anyways, after going along this very linear path for a bit, we have ourselves a return of the not so familiar enemy type in Reiner's days. Of all the places where of all the positionings I could have put Shulk for getting a chain link, oh well. Now as you can see we have a branching path. For now we'll go left, and this Eva deposit's kind of interesting because of just how many there are. Also be wary of the transport units. Those are Eva canisters, and unless I'm getting my facts crossed, they will drop them on top of you like a bomb. You know what? Let's throw one of these guys in. You know what? Let's try something interesting here. In this case, all the flying units were above this part of the ground, so we don't have to worry about getting them later. Huh. Anyways, you see here, there's an elevator! Ow. Just showing that you can change the time, but not save while you're on these moving elevators. Or any elevator for that matter. Elevators defy the laws of save file history. Go all the way here, and we find ourselves. Yeah, I don't feel like fighting him. Those guys near the deposit, however. Oh no! Well, I guess it works out since I was meaning to go back here and backtrack here anyway, since this was not the main part of the story, and yada yada yada. Ow. Ooh. No, 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 oh, man. Okay, waiting for this to go back up. And more importantly, saving. And that beautiful noise just made all this detouring worth it. Oh, perfect timing for the elevator here. All we need to do is just wait for it to go down. It was down, right? Oh yeah, it was this way. Be a little careful with this wall because you will have to go... Basically ignore the thinner parts of the vines and go for the more... I don't know what you call this, shrubbery or... No, not shrubbery. Anyways, here's an ice tea for deposit. For those who want to go out of the way. You know what, if I'm going to use enchant on this guy, I might as well pull in these other two. Head down this way on the path and we see two M55s. I mean, they're typically harvesting the crystals, but I can't help but feel there's a cultish vibe to them after seeing the Turk do something similar. At least these cultists have a guard. The fact that these two didn't respond is amazing. Ah! Surprised I haven't got that achievement earlier. Yes, I'm still going for that Happy New Year, but here we are, the next skip travel point. We've certainly come quite a way. Just two more floors. Look, 2 more floors to go, and I really do wish you could just jump through that gap in the elevator as it's going down. That's just like the one slightly sad thing. Now remember those blades all the way up on the top? Now we're doing it in reverse. The platforms are moving and the stuff in front of us is what's going to get in the way. Also, yeah, the physics is fun. Whee! Thanks to unexpected momentum. Once again, you can change the time and skip travel on these platforms. But saving's a no-go. So take caution. Also, if you try to run off now, whee! All the momentum suddenly disappears. And here we have a scripted event. Instead of letting you progress, you're gonna have to take out this mechon to make it through and also get that deposit. That's just mean. Understandable, but still mean. Yeah, it might just be one mechon, but I'm going to use enchant anyway because I knew how tough this guy was before. I mean, the fact that it can't be top inflicted with break without a chain attack shows it. I could have used sword drive, but I just wanted to double check with Ryan's best. There we are, where how close we were to getting the whole lucky 7s, i.e. 777 points of damage. Still a ways off. Glad I haven't missed it yet. And here we go with another round of these guys. Oh look, there's 2 of them! Why is the oh, that's why the camera's acting up. Here goes nothing. Air Slash might not be able to inflict break, but at least we can take advantage of the slow infliction from the side. Maybe focus on one target at a time. And out of its days, let's really give him 1-4. Over 10,000 points of damage! Sword Drive is a monster of an art. And before we head down, I just want to head over this way. Make it in time. And here we are at the freight elevator, which, as the red light indicates, we can't do anything with. And here we are at the freight elevator, which, as you've probably guessed from all the red lights, doesn't look like it will activate. Wonder where it leads to. Ryan, where are you? Ryan? Right. Blink and you miss. Anyway, now we're gonna have to be really quick if I'm able to just missed it. And that was even with my base movement speed increased by 20%. Also, I probably should have mentioned that Quick Step only applies to the specific character, so you won't see its effects occur unless you control them. Anyway, back to the western corner of B3F. Head down this pathway. Failed to jump away from some stairs. Grab a nice cluster of collectibles. And I could have sworn there was a skip travel point here. For now, I jumped up the party's levels to 28 because, let's be honest, after the last scripted boss fight, it's fair to say that it doesn't hurt to be a level or two above the enemy. Plus, we're dealing with a face unit. We're not going to be able to do much outside of toppling them during a chain attack, so yeah. Anyway, this comes with a few extra bonuses. Ryan gets, and about time too, Shield Bash, his personal days art. Compared to Shulk's hidden form, this one's actually, wait, I said hidden, Shaker Edge. Compared to Shulk's Shaker Edge, this one is so much better, both in its cooldown and its animation speed. You bet I'm gonna upgrade this all the way. Even if it doesn't increase the day's duration, this is really great. Charlotte also gains yet another new art. Covert Stance. If I recall, this is her only aura, or one of two. We'll find out soon enough. Anyways, the Covert Stance is an aura that stops her from gaining aggro and reducing attacks from enemies. It completely prevents her from gaining aggro as well, meaning she can spam a whole bunch of healing arts. Considering that these blue support arts generate an insane amount of aggro, you definitely want this on her. The question now is what to get rid of. I want to keep at least 2 healing arts on because we're really going to need it. I don't see Thunder Bullet being useful at the moment, so I'll swap it out for now. Actually, no, I'll keep Thunder Bullet and go with Tranquilizer instead. If I recall, bosses have a rather high resistance to, or immunity to all statuses, but... Okay. I can up Aura Burst one more time on Ryan. I mean, all of his other active arts are rank 4, level 4, so... yeah, might as well just... do the same for Shulk's Monado Shield and Enchant. Might not be effective against the Bronze Face for now, but the damage bonus is still nifty when it comes in handy. Yeah, and I'll fully level up Air Slash, Slit Edge, and Backslash. Going back to Shala. Alright, I forgot I was going to upgrade this. I'll hold off until I get enough AP for Shield Bullet. Just a quick side note, while I am basically just waiting until all their skills are upgraded before I change branches, it's also a good idea to focus on getting a bunch of the early skills in each branch too. That way you've got a few more options, and I mean, whichever playstyle suits you best. As for equipment, since that's not going to be much useful, our physical defense will go down, but the added agility is a nice bonus. Plus, with the higher crit rate, her tension should also... that should really stack well with the high tension. But first, let's remove these weapon gems before I forget about them. As for Shulk and Ryan, I'm gonna switch over Ryan to the Quark armor. Shulk to the Grand. Yeah, Shulk can get the Grand leggings as well. And I'll give Charlotte the pelt shoes. It might be a tad risky, but because we're going to need to be doing such huge amounts of burst damage to the face Mechon while it's toppled, I'm going to up Shulk's strength a bit more as well. You don't have to do all this stuff. I'm just being cautious because I've decided to inflict pain on myself via expert mode. Next up, collectibles! We're missing one, but I honestly don't care. I'm just gonna go through them now. Or at least the ones we found in the mine. The Yellow Cat, also known as Golden Lightning, has smooth lemon yellow paw pads. The Black Frog is darker than the darkest cave. It rarely moves, so it looks like a stone. And the Light Bat emits light from its body. Why does this? Who knows? Back attack plus. The description says it all. The Black Beetle has a sheen like black metal. Kids love it because it looks cool. Yeah. Yeah, it does. The Rubber Mantis is an elastic mantis that will attack with its pincers. It doesn't hurt though. The Mystery Firefly was also called Sing Tings. Its discoverer thought she was seeing things. Rumble Coal is a golden charcoal that can be struck to make captivating musical tones. The Ether Pebbles is solidified, gravelly lumps of ether. The texture is too fine to be useful. And the Charcoal Leg. A soft root blackened from ether mine, soot, and machine smoke. And here we have Recovery Up, which increases the amount of HP restored when being healed. I might actually put this on Rhine, since he is the tank. I'll think about it for now. Going down to the strange parts, we have the Love Crane. Charlotte named this as she saw it, golden colour and moves prettily. And the Fire Abram. Charlotte also named this deep red statue of an unknown subject. Let's look 15. Give me a moment to try and find this final part. Okay, so a minor 15 minutes later, I finally managed to find a black chip. It has a residual charge, but unfortunately the wiring's busted. And finally, there's the ready coil. It's a coil wound in red wire. You can make a fun gadget with it when you gain the topple up. This increases the damage dealt to enemies suffering topple by 20%. It is worth it. So worth wandering around the mine to get. That's an interesting description for the Ryan Pike. Said Pike has lower physical defenses, so I won't go for it. But you better believe I am taking this increased damage to topple enemies. If you can get a sword, if you can get Ryan to get a sword dive off of this with the Berserk state and the physical defense down from Shulk's Slit Edge active, whoo boy! Apart from that, this is how the team's looking. Decided to swatch out auto attack stealth for Artiel on Shulk so he can do, because I will be using him for arts. Topple up is also really great. I'll keep the King Cluster and Charlotte for now because, well, Thunderbolt's not going to be too particularly effective for this point. It's also worth noting when I was gathering it, I somehow managed to increase Shulkin Ryan's affinity to the maximum level. Huh. In Red Blue already, that's interesting. I'll keep Shulk, even though any further affinity between these two is basically redundant, I'll keep Shulk as the party leader because, well, something tells me I'm going to be needing to take care of a lot of visions. And yeah, I have enough AP now to upgrade Charlotte's shield bullets, so I'm going to do that. Give Ryan or whoever she chooses some further damage resistance. Now there's one last thing I need to discuss with you all, apart from saving that is. Before we continue, we're about to enter a point of no return. Once you head down this elevator, a lot of stuff's going to happen. First of all, skip travel points are going to be disabled. Well, there's basically going to be a whole string of events and, well, I'm basically going to put that for the next episode, to be frank, with its longevity. And without giving away the specifics, a solid chunk of this mine is going to become permanently inaccessible. Mainly the good part. Fortunately, the unique monsters and Heart to Hearts are still available, but you will miss out on a bunch of the Ether Gems. Second of all, it's that time again where we go over all the unique monsters that you can possibly defeat since by this point in the game. Picking up from where we left off, you've got Solid Konev and Gluttonous Eugen. These two are pretty obvious since you will almost undeniably pass by them on your way through Tephra Cave, and yeah, I can't really say much more than I already have about them. Heading out to the Bionicus leg, we have, as I've shown in the previous video, both White Eduardo, which only appears during a rain or a thunderstorm, and Violent Andante. Pretty standard, pretty straightforward. Out in the middle of the Gal Plain and easily missable because of how far it travels, you'll find Napping Volfin, but only during the nighttime. If you're having trouble finding him, go to this rock here near where we found that surprise quest, avoid Roddy's deathly gaze, and just wait at the rock until Volfin shows up. Going from the Jabos Rock rest area immediately south, you'll find Sniper Paramecia, although you've got a quest for it, so it's not that big of a deal to find. And Vagrant Al, feared at the Turkan headquarters. One good strategy to take this guy is basically wipe out all the mooks by luring them away and picking him off one by one until you've only got this guy and his two retainers. They'll still be able to pull off a chain attack against you if you're not careful, but at least you won't be overwhelmed by their numbers. Never underestimate a Turkan. They are a lot more cunning than they lead on to be. On the way to Colony 6, you might run across Night Cardamon. As the name implies, they only appear during the nighttime. For the best results, go near the whole archway towards the colony entrance and just wait for it to fly over. Dark Maw we've already dealt with as part of the whole Sesame's executing devilishly delightful plan. And Trainer Harmelon has showed up on one of the first challenge quests you gained from the refugees, and yeah, it's a bit out of the way. It might have two Arduin following it, but by the time you get up there, they're not really that big of a deal. If you're struggling, however, well, you either have the choice to take out the Arduin first and deal with Harmelon's pitiful damage, or deal with Harmelon first and watch as the Arduin become slightly less coordinated. But not by much. Moving on to Colony 6, we have Graceful Holland. Our very first... oh, I'm forgetting the name of these ether blobs. Basically, Yeah, the key fact to remember here is that it only shows up during the rain time, and it has a particularly nasty self-destruct that all Nebula will possess. I've got to remember that. I wasn't able to show you with the footage I recorded beforehand, but yeah. It's pretty nasty and can easily send you off the cliff edge if you're not careful. And now for the final three, all within the Ether Mine, you'll find, next to a large amount of rare Ether Crystal, the Dark Kissling, hanging on the ceiling with a whole bunch of drunk fangs. Given the party set up at the time, it's very easy to draw all these enemies and the Ravels together, so yeah. It's a strength in numbers kind of challenge, so be wary. Oh, also, Kissling has an awakened aura that increases its level by 1 at low health. On your way, and honestly this is very difficult not to get angered by him, Vengeful Dalton. He brings all the Oopas into the yard, and I don't know where I'm going with this. And if you feel like having a bit of a challenge, Elegance Marin is always here. And yes, I did manage to beat him with these levels, and it's also how Shulkin Ryan's Affinity maxed. With all that said and done, I'd say now's the perfect time to put our progress on hold. See you in the next episode of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, where we take on our enemy down here. Till then, have a good day. Also, for those wondering if you can just jump down from here and basically trigger the cutscene, it doesn't work like that, but nice try.